People start projects and they have to give up on them because they're too big, but God doesn't do that. He finished it before He ever started it. It says this, it says there's a time and a season and a purpose for every activity of God under heaven. So I want to talk to you about one of those activities of God. It concerns a miracle I saw happen that stunned me. It stuns me even now talking about it. My wife and I were off in a ministry at a church down in Texas, and we were doing ministry. And all of a sudden, I scream out, God's power is here to heal. And I really meant it with all my heart. And so some people were coming forward, and then I caught a glimpse of something out of my eye, and I looked down like this. Oh my goodness. Oh, what I saw did not even look like a human being. I don't know if I can describe it where you can get a mental concept of it. It looked like somebody had, it looked like what people draw like an alien. Listen, this didn't even look like a human being. It's a little boy, has no forehead, it just slits back like this. His eyes were not in sockets, they were hanging down on his face like this. And he was real short, his hands drug the ground like this, and just pitiful. His facial features would look just like an alien, big head up here down to a little, and so I am stunned. And I said to the little boy there, I said, do you believe God can heal you? And oh man, I'll never forget it. He rolled those eyes up, rolled them up like this, and looked at me and said, I'm down here, ain't I? And the Lord said, Bobby, you'll never get a better reply than that in your whole life. I'm down here, ain't I? And I took my hand, this hand right here, and I put it on his head. His head was very deformed. Put my hand on his head, and the little kid falls out on the floor there. Remember now, his arms drag the ground. He's just a little dwarf. His facial features are all distorted. Eyeballs hanging out like a iguana lizard. And there he is, and I'm watching him. And his head starts growing out like this. It starts taking shape, and it grew to such a dimension, it created eye sockets, and his eyes popped into the sockets. And there he is, and then his head quit moving, and he's awake. I get him up, and he said, I feel real good. That's what he said, I feel real good. I was breathtaking. I was stunned. And anyway, I said to the Lord, why did you continue growing out his head? He said, I'm waiting for his brain to take its shape to fit the cranium. But anyway, maybe 2 months after that event there, my wife and I are back in the same church, and here comes what looked like a teenager, big enough to play football, and he runs and grabs me, and he's just swinging on me like this, and he said, you remember me? And I looked at him, I said, yes, I do. And he had grown to be normal. All of the deformity was gone, and he's perfect, absolutely perfect young man. That's what I'm telling you, God can do anything. We watched him raise the dead. People say, well, I want to see something supernatural. This was supernatural. I preached at a nursing home,